children, you know, in their growing years. So if you do cook at home, what are the things that you will look for? Money saving. If you can replicate what the restaurant is serving and you can do it easily at home, that would be great, right? Saving lots and lots of money, right? And of course, if the recipe is easy, it will be even better. It means that you can do it so often, whenever you want it, right? And then healthy eating, of course, this is great because when we eat outside or when we order food from outside, we cannot determine what is put inside the food, right? We cannot control whether there's MSG. We cannot control what kind of oil you use. We cannot even control, you know, the salt content, the sugar content, whereas at home you can. Okay, so creative cooking, something that I really love about the Thermomix, it is the ideas that it can give us when we cook at home. Because, you know, we want a variety, especially for kids, for our husband, for our loved ones. You know, people like to explore different kinds of food. And if we can have our hands on multiple recipes and keep it at home, that would be great. In Thermomix, I would like to share this news with you. We have 67,000 recipes already tested for us in our recipe platform. So you can actually access into the recipe platform and use all these 67,000 recipes. So it can be recipes, Western recipes, it can be Asian recipes, drill down to whether you want Malay food, Indian food, Chinese food, Indonesian, Taiwanese, Korean, Japanese. It's all there for you to try and at home. Okay, time saving, something that we all need, including our kids now. We are also tied up in time. So if we can cook really fast and easy and saving time, that would be great. And you're going to experience all this today with us in our session today. Okay? So about the Thermomix itself, the most important thing is when we invest in something, we want to look at the backup, the company backup, the service support that we're getting after we start to use a product, right? So I'm actually very proud to be using, I started like you. And after I've owned my Thermomix, the support is tremendous. It is worldwide. We have presence in 80 over countries worldwide. And we are also supported by a company which is 130 over years. So a very well-established company. And also when we talk about the Thermomix, it has been around since 1960. Long time ago, it is not something new, right? So the technology advanced, it has evolved into what it is today. So the first one you would see in 1960, it looks like just a normal blender. And now with all the built-in 20 functions now, it is a all-in-one, top of the world, all-in-one kitchen machine, okay? So every 23 seconds, you realize that, oh, my friend starts to own a Thermomix. And it's very common now that the Thermomix is being used at home, all right? All right, so what comes with the Thermomix? When you place an order, it comes with, this is the main unit. Basically, on the top here, it is where this spaceship thing called the Varoma sits. So the Varoma is actually your steamer. It can steam your food, and it can steam 2 layers of food at one go. So you can steam on the upper layer and the bottom layer. Okay. So if you need a bigger size, like you want to steam a whole chicken, you can. By lifting off the upper tray, you can actually have a whole Varoma dish that you can place a whole chicken into steam. So it's very flexible. If you want to collect the juice of your steaming or the sauce of your steaming, you can even put a plate and then you can put your ingredients on top of steam. So for example, you can save time by steaming chicken at the bottom, maybe half a chicken, and then the top, you can also go for steaming vegetables, steaming eggs, you know, potatoes and whatnot, right? So this is your steam. Moving forward here, this is the TM bowl, and it comes with a lid, all right? The lid also has a measuring cup that is on the top, okay? So this hole gives you flexibility to add ingredients, and the measuring cup MC is actually to cover the hole when you need to keep the heat inside, okay? And why is it called measuring cup? Because it also has measurement inside, 50 ml and 100 ml for quick measurement of liquid, okay, liquid ingredients. Okay, inside the bowl, it is where the plate is. So it's really very flexible and durable to have a bowl that is made of stainless steel. Why stainless steel is chosen? Because stainless steel doesn't absorb smell and it's very easy to clean. Yeah. So with the stainless steel bowl, after cooking your rendang chicken, and then you immediately clean the bowl and you decided to whip up your sorbet or ice cream, there's no problem. You wouldn't have rendang smell or curry smell in your ice cream. Okay, and the blade is removable, so you can wash thoroughly all the way to the inside. All right, so this is the TM. Okay, the most attractive part, of course, the most important thing is the built-in technology, which is the engine, the super powerful engine of the Thermomix, the motor. It is the technology that is patented. It is a frictionless motor technology. And the motor spin, the power of the motor can go up to 10,700 rotation per minute. Very, very powerful. You're going to experience that afterwards. The screen is also very attractive, right? It is a touchscreen basis. On the left, when you scroll, this is where it brings you online because the TM6 has a built-in Wi-Fi. And why you need to go online? Because you would want to access to the Cookie-Do platform, the recipe platform that I shared with you, where you can explore your tens and thousands of recipes there. Okay, so this is the home screen where you will see the 3 circles. The first circle is the time. Later you'll see how we use it to set how long you want to cook your food. The second is temperature, what kind of fire you want to cook your food with. And the third, it is the spinning speed. All right, so how fine you want it to be. So basically, when you cook with Thermomix, there's only 3 things to set: the time, the temperature, and the speed. And then when we talk about different functions, 20 over functions, right? Where are they? So for example, when I scroll to the other side, you will see, wow, there has all these multiple functions that appear. Now you can see that there is a scale, which means a weighing scale. The timbang is there. The door mode is for you to do your kneading. The turbo mode, okay, pre-clean, blend, kettle mode, egg boiler, chicken mode, rice cooker mode, and there are more, which we will explain. So a few of the highlights later on to share the details with you. All right. So basically, this is our screen, right? A lot of customers really love it, whether young or old. Even children loves to get their hands on the Thermomix. Okay. So how do you own a Thermomix? For newbies, we have 3 options. The first option will be a full payment of 7,188. There is a 200 ringgit voucher that applies at the moment. So at the actual final price that you will pay is actually only 6,988, 6,988. We also have financing up to 24 months. So per day basis, it's only 9 ringgit a day. So we want to make the Thermomix affordable to all families. All right. There's also a third option whereby after you started using it, like for example, users who are online with us, if you want to go for your second unit, instead of purchasing, you can consider joining us as a partner and you can earn your second unit. Okay, so if you love to explore this, if you're interested in this, please contact your advisor. All right. So one Thermomix does it all, something that I've explained just now, 20 over functions in one. First of all, you save a lot of space. Second, most important thing is you save a lot of cleaning time because you at the end of cooking adventure, you only clean one Thermomix instead of all the multiple appliances. And of course, your kitchen will look really neat and tidy because all you need is a Thermomix on your kitchen top. All right, so this is what it is. One Thermomix does it all. Just like our smartphone now. This is going to be your smart kitchen. Okay, perfect kitchen for anyone. So if you're cooking for one person, it is the best. You do not need to invest in multiple equipments now. One equipment gets you started, and when it also gets you when you grow your family, when you have your newborn babies and all, it becomes your baby food processor. Okay, so it's a very good investment that grows and develops with your family. And when the children grows up, you will want multiple kinds of food, like cookies, like ice cream, like buns, like breads. It is all there, ready for you to use. And then, of course, for elderly, for those who are in their golden years, it is the best thing. You don't need to be working and cooking tirelessly in the kitchen. You can be seated down and still whip out a healthy, delicious meal with the Thermomix. All right, so let's get started. We want to show you how it works. That is very important, right? I think that is what is keeping you here. We will start with a refreshing juice, and I'm going to pass the screen to Ayu. Ayu is going to share with you how to make delicious, healthy drinks in the morning, and followed by how do you move on with the Thermomix to make pizzas and bread. All right, so I'll pass the screen to Ayu.
Hi, good morning, everyone. So I'm Ayu, one of the Thermomix advisor. Thank you all for joining us today, this morning. We understand, with your busy schedule. So I'm going to highlight a few of the things that Ting Ting just mentioned. One of it is to show you how powerful the Thermomix blade is. Okay, so that will be one of it, and how you can make fast and fresh juice every single day. So whether it's smoothies, whether it's fresh juices, you will always have it fresh. So today we're going to be doing Calamansi and Asam Boi. So first I'm going to show you how accurate the Thermomix is. It has a built-in weighing scale. Okay, so this is the built-in weighing scale. Okay. Oops, sorry about that. Okay, I think you all can see. Okay, so basically I'm going to be weighing the rock sugar in here itself. So for those of you who love to bake and things like that, you don't have to take out a separate weighing scale to measure and all that. So everything is already done in here itself. So you can see how it's moving by the gram. So it's very, very precise in that sense. Okay, so the magic is going to happen shortly. So this is the rock sugar. You can see the rock sugar. All right. Now, there are several pre-selected modes already in there, so you don't have to dig and find. Everything is already straightforward in there. Next, we're also going to put a bit of Asam Boi in it. I've got the rock sugar and the Asam Boi. So I'm going to turbo mode it and put it into a magic. A magic is going to happen right now. Okay. Now, because the motor is so powerful, so you might hear it like it's a bit loud, but actually it's really, really strong, and this is the result of it. Okay, so in less than 2 seconds, okay, just turn it the dial. Okay. What's the weight for the, okay, I put 50 grams of rock sugar, and the Asam Boi was around like 4 pieces of it. Okay, are you ready to see the magic? All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's see what has happened to the rock sugar and the Asam Boi. Ta-da! Can you see it? It's all blended powdery into really fine. So you don't have to use a separate blender, everything. Now with this same bowl, I know Ramadan is coming. You're thinking what to make for Sapo, what to make for buka puasa, things like that. So this is going to be one of the perfect drinks. Okay, now I have the Calamansi. Okay, you can see the Calamansi. I'm not going to cut it, nothing at all. I've just washed it and cleaned it a little bit. So for those of you who want something really fast, this is it. Just take the whole fruit. Okay, weigh it around 200 grams. So we're back at the weight scale. Let me just see if I can bring this closer so that you all can have a look. Okay, is this better? Yes. All right. So you just put and weigh it around 200 grams. So it's very, very precise. So the taste is all up to you, whether you want it to be extra sweet, extra sour. So you can always modify and play with the ingredients. That's the great thing about Thermomix. So there's nothing like, precise. Okay, next, we've got the Calamansi in. We're going to go back to the turbo mode. So right now in here we have the calamansi and the rock sugar as well as the asam boi. All in here. Actually, you can put the water first. So I will put the water first. Okay, around like 1,000 grams of water. If you want it a bit more diluted, you can always put less water. I'm using ice water because it gives that nice, cool, refreshing kind of feel to it. Oh, blue, 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 blue. Oh, I can't wait to try it. Okay, then all you have to do is cover it back. Go to turbo mode. 2 seconds. So technically, because I've been talking and all that, you would have already had a calamansi done in less than 6 seconds. Can you imagine having a fresh drink less than 6 seconds? Okay, and now we're going to go turbo mode. And guess what? Okay, your calamansi drink is done. That's it. It is so fast, so simple, so fresh. Now all I have to do is, remember Pinky mentioned that you have a simmering basket. So this is one of the uses that you can use for the simmering basket. Let me just show you how good it is. Oh, I love the smell of it. It smells so fresh. Okay, let me just show you how I will try it in a while. So I'm going to pour and show you how fresh it is. Okay, are you ready? You just use the simmering basket, put it in, and that's it. Wow, look at that. Fresh calamansi with asam boi, all done in just one bowl. So the cleanup is also really easy. You don't have to do a lot. It is not messy. Besides that, for those of you who want to make your own chicken stock, you can make your own chicken stock. You can make your own bubble tea, you know, the pearls for the bubble tea. You can even make that. So this is how my fresh calamansi with asam boi. I'll just have a quick drink. Oh, so nice and fresh. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to head over to the sink to just rinse this off. And when next we're going to be making will be our pizza. So I'm going to show you how fast and easy it is to make your own homemade pizza. Okay, and I'm back. So I just gave it a quick rinse. That's how fast and easy it is. So for the next step, what we're going to be doing is on, it's the recipe is from Cookie Dough itself. So if you remember, Ping Ping mentioned regarding we have almost 65,000 of recipes in the Cookie Dough itself. So Cookie Dough is an online recipe platform which you can access throughout not only just the Thermomix, you can even access it from your handphone, from your laptop. So any device it can be synced together. So for example, let's just say you want to know what your husband wants for dinner. So he can have access to it on his mobile phone or on his laptop. And you can just ask him to key in what he feels like having, and it will actually be synced to your Thermomix. So you can access it from home, and by the time he comes back, dinner will be served for him. So that's one of the great things about Cookie Dough. Okay, so it has almost like up to 50,000 recipes in it, and you can actually save those recipes. That's a shopping list provided. You can even key in which recipe you want for the week, plan your week, so you don't have to think what's for dinner, what's for lunch, what's for breakfast, and things like that. It's really, really made easy. And the best thing is, like I mentioned, so there's also a place where you can add whatever you want to cook for the week into the shopping list. So basically what it means is that when you go out to do your groceries, it's all there accumulated for. All right, so now we are in the Cookie Dough. Okay. I will show you how I retrieve my, I'm not sure if you can see me, sorry about that. Okay, so I go to my week and you can see my week is already planned for, and today we'll be making pizza bianca, so it's already there. So all I need to do is just click on it. And cookie dough is basically a step-by-step guided recipe. So for those of you who are new, you do not have to feel afraid of not knowing how to use it or how to cook. This is exactly just the perfect thing. Because honestly, like for me also previously, I never used to cook until I had the Thermomix. Now I'm like Mama Master Chef. So the first step is, it even tells you that you need to preheat the oven. So I'm going to preheat the oven first. So preheat the oven at 220. They ask you to line a baking tray. So I'm going to line my baking tray. And first, we will do the pizza dough. So to make the pizza dough, you know that it has to be a certain temperature for the yeast to activate, and then the whole kneading process. It has always been a turn off for me to experiment anything like that. Grab food was always easier, just call pizza, you know, and it's already there. But this has been so much fun in the sense that my kids now can make their own pizza. It's a great family bonding session. I really, really love it because of those reasons especially. Okay, so that's right. You can have the perfect knead every time, whether it is mantau, whether it's to make pasta, whether it's to make, you know, your own fishball noodles soup, whatever it is, you will have the perfect knead because it goes through a certain temperature and Thermomix is so precise that it helps do that for you. All right, so let's get going. So first we're going to make the toppings for it, okay? And we have the garlic and rosemary. And this recipe is so simple. As you can see, I only have like less than 5 items or so. So it's garlic and rosemary. So it says here 2 garlic. I love garlic, so I'm going to go a little bit more extra. Okay, and then you just click next. And then it says 3 sprigs of fresh rosemary. So I've got my fresh rosemary. Remove the stem, only the leaves. Okay, next we're just going to insert the measuring cup. Okay, so remember this is the measuring cup. So we're just going to put it on. Okay, and for 4 seconds at speed 7. I understand most of you do not like chopping garlics and things like that. So this is a perfect appliance because it actually helps you to chop your garlic as well. So if you put it on like at speed 5, okay, and you reverse it, you can actually use the chopstick once you have already chopped the garlic, take out the skin. So you don't have to peel the skin and everything. So remember my garlic went in. So this is how it looks like. I'm just going to give it a little scrape down to make it a little bit more fine. Smells so good already in here. Okay, so next we will again close it, go next, and go to speed 4. So now again, it's going to help me do the chopping. I don't have to stand, chop, 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 cut, cut, cut. And if you hear that sound, ding, 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 ding. So that's the sound. No matter where you are in the house, it will call you to say that that step is ready. Let's move on to the next step. So you don't have to keep standing by the side of it to keep checking on it. You can always do other things. I love to multitask. I'm sure most of us love to multitask. So this is a great sound. Even my neighbors have heard it. So they know it's a sign Ayu is cooking. So do drop by over or just get yourself a Thermomix. So I'm just going to transfer this into a separate bowl because we're going to use it later to indirectly decorate it. So this is a great thing. You see, from just now until now, I've been using the same bowl and it is so convenient. I do not have to stand and wash 501 things and get my whole kitchen all messed up. And in terms of space wise, you don't need to have like, 501 appliances out there. Everything is just in, as you can see, in my small little corner here. Okay. You can actually rinse it, but it's okay. Whatever that's in there, just going to go in back, so I don't really mind. So I'm going to put next is the water. So right now we're going to activate the yeast. So I'm going to put in the water. Okay, so as I mentioned, it is so precise by the gram. So we've got the water in. Next, you can put some sugar to make it a little bit sweet. So I like things sweet, so I'm going to put in a little bit of sugar. Okay. So because it is so easy, there's a built-in weighing scale. You don't have to basically prep all your ingredients. You can just go along and prepare your meal. Because for me, I felt that, prepping and then after that cooking, that used to take up a lot of time. And we are all busy people. We don't have a lot of time. So here I have 2 teaspoons of dry yeast. I'm going to place it in. Okay. Next, we're going to insert the measuring cup. Basically, this is how it looks like inside there. Okay, next. Okay, at speed 1. So at temperature 37, that's the best temperature to activate the yeast. For 2 minutes, that's what it's going to do. So like I mentioned, you don't have to worry whether will the yeast be activated or, is the dough going to rise? Normally, most of the time, you will get perfection cooking when you cook with the Thermomix, because most of the recipe has been done and tested, which is a great thing. Personally, like I said, I never used to cook. I never used to step in the kitchen. That was my husband's work. My husband was the one that used to cook. But now with the Thermomix, it's been such a great adventure because there's so many things that you can do. You can even make your own healthy homemade sorbet ice cream. That's one of the great things that me and my kids love to do. So that's why now with the Thermomix, I don't have to worry too much about safety wise. And with the current pandemic, we have been staying home. My kids have learned a new skill of learning to cook. My daughter is 5 and she herself made her own pizza the other day. And my son, which is 9, made a whole meal on his own. He made chicken noodle soup. So that goes to show that, anyone can cook and everyone can cook. And the great thing about Thermomix is, as you can see, it is so small and light and compact that you can carry it and bring it anywhere. So you don't just have to be sitting in the kitchen to cook. Like the other day, I was outside at the balcony cooking. So it's very portable and really, really convenient. So when we talk about ice cream, you see the shelf life of those ice cream is almost like a year. And don't you wonder why it's that long? It's probably because it has preservatives in it and things like that. Whereas now you can make your own homemade ice cream. So you see, while I've been standing here and talking, the yeast has been activating. All right, so the yeast is already activated. Right now, we're going to put in the flour. So I'm going to use the baker's flour, which is bread flour. Okay, so we've got 400 grams of bread flour. So the reason why I didn't prep is I wanted to show you how convenient it is, because I know for those of you who like to bake, you will normally have to prepare it before and then measure each one of it. Whereas this is considered your mixing bowl, so you can just add in straight away and you don't have to measure it separately. So that's how easy and convenient it is. So after this, all your kueh raya, all your cake, you can already do it in here itself. So we've got 400 grams of bread flour. Okay, so we need 30 grams of olive oil. Okay, so you just put the olive oil in. Okay, next we have 1 teaspoon of sea salt. Okay, so this is the sea salt. Just let's sprinkle it a little. And next, you just insert the measuring cup. Click next, and we are going to go, if you can see, I'll just pull you all a bit closer. There's actually like a weak kind of knead, and this is called the kneading function. So for 2 minutes, I can do anything I want while the dough is being kneaded for me. Previously, you know, if you are a baker, you will know that you have to knead and everything. It's really, really time consuming, energy consuming. This, the machine does it for you, so you don't have to stand there. So, for example, the next 2 minutes, you can probably dash in, go do your laundry, come back out, and the dough will be ready. Or you could probably, you know, go and water your plants and come back, your dough will also be ready. So all this is really, really time saving, energy saving.
Yeah, and you there's a different one, but there's no accessories at all on the bakery.
No, yeah. See, I look so clean.
There's no flour on the table, not even on the it's so traditional way. Take the tabletop after that. So yeah. Half an hour of kneading process now cuts down to 2 minutes.
I would love to show you how it looks like kneading. Just a second. I'm struggling a little bit here. Sorry. Okay, I'll just bring you over here. So can you see it's actually kneading for you? So like I mentioned, you don't have to be standing there using all your energy to knead and everything. So it will automatically, ta-da! See, it's calling us. So we will continue with our next step to make the pizza. That's our dough, all ready. So easy. So we will move on to this side here. Okay, so we're gonna take out the dough. Basically, you just remove the dough and you're gonna separate it into two. So if you don't want to use both, you can always freeze the second one, put it in the freezer. Okay. That's how easy it is. And see, whatever that's inside, normally you can actually go on turbo mode, speed 2, to remove whatever excess dough there is. Now, I'm sure some of you are wondering, oh no, it's going to be a hassle to clean the bowl and all that. No, because Thermomix has a pre-clean function. So this pre-clean function, what it does is basically means that it will help you pre-clean the bowl. So when it pre-cleans the bowl, it will reduce your time of cleaning up again. So whether it's for caramel browning or your dough and things like that, you put it on the pre-clean mode, put a bit of water in the bowl, set it to pre-clean mode with a little bit of liquid detergent, and voila. It has cut your job to also clean. All right, so I'm just going to cut the dough into half. Okay, so you see, it's a really nice texture. Okay, we're going to set it aside and leave it to cool only for around 15 minutes until it doubles up the size. And then I will come back and show you how we're going to decorate it, and then we're going to bake it, and then you can eat it. That is so simple. Okay, so I will pass the video to Sunita so she can move on and show you her next recipe. So we just close it and proof it. That's it. Okay, Sunita? Okay. It's all your.
Good morning, everyone. How are you today? Thank you for joining us this Saturday. So as you saw, we did a juice and we've done pizza that we will get to see later. So today I'm going to show you how you can do a really nice stir fry using your Thermomix as well. Okay, so we're doing, today we're actually doing a recipe using the high temp feature, which comes with your TM6, all right? So I'm going to do this recipe, which is actually from Cookie Dough, but the original recipe is in Chinese. So I've just gone into the recipe on my phone, and on my phone, I access it using Google Chrome, which has a built-in translation feature so that I can see the steps and see what the recipe is. So I now have pulled it up for my week to cook today. And we're going to say start cooking. On your machine, the recipe will still be in Chinese. So you will still need to refer to your phone to see the steps, to understand the steps. But everything is already programmed, okay? So we're going to go start cooking. And as a precursor to high temp recipes, you must follow the ingredients exactly. The high temp and caramelization sugar stages feature in the Thermomix TM6 is very precise because they don't want you to access those high temperatures of 160 and 170 degrees manually. So it's available only through Cookie Dough. So today, since we're doing this recipe, it's through Cookie Dough. And I'm going to go next. And it says 35 grams of cooking oil. So I'm using olive oil, right? And I'm just going to weigh it in. And as Ayu said, it's so easy. You don't have to pre-measure anything. You just weigh it straight into your bowl. So we've got 32. Okay, 35 grams of oil. And then next, 2 garlic sliced. So we've got the 2 garlic sliced. Put it in. And next, 2 dried red chilies, just broken in half. Put that 2 into the oil. And next, it says put the measuring cup back on. Next, so it's already preset for 3 minutes at 120 degrees. And it says turn to speed 1. So just turn the knob until you see number 1 on the screen, right? So this is what we call healthy low temperature cooking. 120 degrees is normally what we use for sauteing. So even when I cook my Indian curries, etc., I use 120 degrees to saute my spices and my onions and my curry leaves and everything before actually cooking my curry, right? So you can use 120 degrees to do sauteing, all right? But we also have, on the other hand, our high temperature and caramelization. Okay, so today we're doing the high temperature. Right now, we're just sauteing the chili and the garlic. And with high temperature, you can actually have access to make your own lollipops at home. If you have young children, make your gummy bears. You can do your caramel for your popcorn. You can also do high temp frying of meats, etc. And the sauteed mushrooms using the high temperature is really, really delicious. So any of you that like going out for breakfast and having those big breakfasts at cafes, etc., if you know the sauteed mushrooms that they serve you with a big breakfast, you can do that at home in the comfort of your own home. All right. So I get this really lovely fragrance. So with the Thermomix, because we're using 120 degrees, it's also the perfect temperature when you're using oils like olive oil, sesame oil, which are heat sensitive. So the Thermomix does not overheat your oil, so it does not start smoking. If you were doing this on your stove, you cannot control the temperature. So your oil may start overheating. And when your oil overheats, it starts smoking. And the minute your oil starts smoking, it actually becomes carcinogenic. It's really not good for you. And by right, we're supposed to throw it out and start with fresh oil. But obviously, when we're doing it on the stove, we just close one eye and we don't do that. So with the Thermomix, you don't have to worry because your oil will never overheat because it's fixed at 120 degrees, which is the perfect temperature, and it brings out all the flavor of your garlic just with that 120 degrees. So last night I actually cooked just buttered French beans. So instead of oil, I just used 3 pips of garlic, chopped them up, added in some butter, sauteed the garlic in the butter, put in my French beans and a little bit of salt, and beautifully buttered French beans for dinner, right? So as I mentioned, we also have that lovely sound when it's done. So we just go next. So you can see the garlic sizzling inside. Okay. And next it says 350 grams of cabbage. So I've just got the cabbage here and it's lightly rinsed. So just put all the cabbage in. So just cut it into like big squares. That's fine. Okay. Then next, says put the splash guard on. Sorry, let me just grab my splash guard. So when you do high temperature cooking, it will ask you for this. So we just put this on. Okay, done. And it's set for 7 minutes automatically, and you'll see these three little lines on your screen, which is the high temperature icon. And just give it a turn to start it off, and it will start. All right. So while that's cooking, let me tell you a little bit more about the perfect temperatures that the Thermomix has. All right. So the Thermomix has 37 degrees for heating baby foods. Okay, so if you have children at home, you can actually warm up the baby food or even warm up the water for mixing your baby formula using 37 degrees. I'm not sure if you can hear that sizzling sound. Let me maybe bring the camera a little nearer. So if you can hear that sizzling sound, just type number 1. Then we have 50 degrees, which is perfect for melting chocolate. I love baking and I make a lot of cakes. So I use this all the time to melt my chocolate for my chocolate ganache, etc. We also have 60 degrees for melting your gelatin for desserts. It's amazing if you're making things like panna cotta, or if you're making flan and you need to melt your gelatin for that. 70 degrees for sauces. Those of you who like to make like your own sabayon sauce, etc., you would use 70 degrees. We've got a kettle mode, and you can do 80 degrees to brew your water to that temperature, because you use it for your green tea, or 90 degrees, 95 degrees for your specialized coffees that some of you may buy from Starbucks. 90 degrees to make your own kaya, to make your own wonderful kaya at home. Whatever flavor you want, whether you want gula melaka kaya, whether you want good old caramel kaya or pandan kaya, just make your own kaya at home. It's so easy when you have a Thermomix. Okay, and as I mentioned, 120 degrees to saute, which we did just now. 160 degrees for browning, so you can brown meats to add into your veggies. And 170 degrees for caramelization. So there's a whole world of possibilities when you have your Thermomix, because the temperature control is so precise, so important. I use it when I make my jam. I make my own orange marmalade at home. I make my own strawberry jam. And it's so healthy because you know it's preservative free. There's absolutely nothing else that goes into it except pure oranges and the sugar, right? So when you have your Thermomix, the possibilities are really endless. As Ayu mentioned, even with the kneading function, I use that all the time to make breads. If you have children, get them to help you to make your own pizzas, okay? There's nothing that beats the smell of fresh baked bread. So you can easily make breads in the mornings for breakfast, or tea time. You can make your sausage rolls, etc. So you can hear it sizzling away on high temp, right? So ever since I got my Thermomix, I have pretty much stopped using my stove. I use my Thermomix for everything. Almost all my cooking is in my Thermomix. It's so easy, even with Indian cooking. I make my sambar, I make my rasam, I make my mutton perotel, everything in the Thermomix. When I used to make mutton perotel before I had a Thermomix, it would be so tedious because I would literally have to stand and stir every 10-15 minutes, because mutton is one meat that no matter how low a temperature you cook it at, it will still catch at the bottom of your pan. So with the Thermomix, all I have to do is saute my spices at 120 degrees, then put all my mutton and all my masala and curry powder and everything in, and just set it for like 50 minutes. And my Thermomix does the job. It stirs and it cooks, and I can just continue watching Netflix, my favorite shows on Netflix, and not worry about it. And dinner will be done without me having to pretty much lift a finger. All right. So it's really, really convenient and easy when you use the Thermomix. Okay, so we've got a minute and a half to go, and I'll show you how beautiful the cabbage looks when it's done. The other thing with stir frying vegetables with the Thermomix is your vegetables come out looking so beautifully green and fresh that even people who don't like vegetables would probably eat vegetables. We've had a lot of children who love eating the broccoli in our broccoli carrot stir fry, because the broccoli just tastes so different compared to what you get when you cook it on the stove. Okay, so stir frying with Thermomix locks in all the nutrients and all the flavor of the vegetables, so you really get the full essence of what you're cooking. Okay, so we're almost done. And as you can see, I'm actually in my dining room cooking with my air conditioning on. So no problems, there's no fumes. This is basically just the steam from the high temperature cooking. And you can carry your Thermomix anywhere. My niece from Johor Bahru, when she came down on holiday, she has 4 young children. When they came down to Kajang, to my sister's place, she just brought her Thermomix because she's so used to using it now that she really cannot live without it. So she just brought her TM6 with her, packed it in the car, right? So Thermomix also has a transportation mode, so you can set it on transportation mode. Okay. So I'm going to show you how it looks. So you can see how beautiful the cabbage looks. All right. So now we just go next. And it says 15 grams of light soy sauce with 1 gram of sugar. So I've actually already added the 1 gram of sugar in here. So I'm just going to pour the 15 grams of soy sauce. Okay. Next. And then put the lid back on. And next. And just 30 seconds. And as you can see on the screen, it's on Varoma, which is our steaming temperature. And it's automatically gone into reverse. All right, so we just turn it to speed 1 on reverse. And just like that, your high temperature stir-fried cabbage is done. So as I mentioned earlier, use Google Chrome because it has a built-in translation feature. So use Google Chrome to access Cookie-Doo. That's the easiest. So it will automatically translate recipes that are not in English. Not all the recipes, because we have recipes in Polish, in Hungarian, etc. Those you will need to copy and paste. But most of the recipes that are in French, German, etc. So look at how beautiful that cabbage looks. Okay. So we're just going to dish it out.
Okay, Sunita,
Yes, now I can hand you over to Ayu to show you the next step with her pizza.
Okay. All right, you got to unmute your phone.
I'm sorry. Okay, welcome back. So we've already done seen how Sunita has done the lovely veggie dish, and my dough actually has more or less it's gone bigger. I'm not sure if you get it. Let me just push this down. Can you see? So the dough has gone bigger. Now the next step is going to be the fun part. Now this is just a basic way of making a pizza dough. Now the rest is up to you, how you want to decorate it, or how you want to dress it, or what is your favorite kind of toppings. So for me personally, I like it simple, and because the kids are not here, so I'm going to make a very simple pizza dough. So this is the dough earlier, you can see, really nice. I'm just going to flatten it down. I don't even need to use a rolling pin because this is one of like a very, very easy recipe. So I'm just going to get rid of all the air in there. And like I mentioned, this recipe that I'm using today is called Pizza Bianca. So if you are familiar, buongiorno, hello anyone that's from Italy. Pizza Bianca basically also means like white pizza. So they don't use marinara or tomato sauce. However, for today's cooking demo, I'm going to change and spice things up a little. I'm going to modify the recipe to how I want it, how I like it. That's the great thing, because it's all up to you how you want to do it. So we're going to flatten the dough first. Okay. Over here, I'm going to flatten the dough. As you can see here, so we're going to flatten the dough. Very easy. Now it's already ready to be put whatever toppings you want. So I'm going to add in, remember the garlic and rosemary that we blended earlier. So I'm going to add that on top. Okay. You can be generous. I'm going to put that on top. I have a bit of tomato and olives. Goes perfect with the pizza. So I'm just going to sprinkle it all over. So, like I said, I mentioned again, it's really fast. For example, what you can do is for Ramadan, for those of you who are fasting, okay, this can make a perfect sahur kind of dish. So normally what you can do is you can wake up, do the dough, like I told you, it takes 50 minutes to proof. So I will actually leave it to proof. While I'm leaving it to proof, I will wake everyone else in the house to get ready. Then you can probably, some of you might want to do another dish. And the baking time basically is just 15 minutes. I've added some extra olive oil. Okay, added some extra olive oil. You see, doesn't it look pretty nice? So I'm going to put some sea salt, just a little bit. Sprinkle it on top. Okay, sprinkle it. Well, I feel like I'm such a master chef right now. And voila, we maybe add a little bit of rosemary on top. So this is going to bake in the oven for 15 minutes. I'm going to add another a bit more because I love rosemary. Okay, where's my oven? Let's take you to the oven. Okay, so the oven has been preheated at 220 degrees. I will just show you. This is how it looks like before it goes in. So we're going to bake it for 15 to 20 minutes or until it goes light golden. Very easy and simple, right? All thanks to Thermomix, this is possible. So I will pass you back to Ping Ping.
Yes. Right. So today it can be pizza, tomorrow it can be pita bread, the next moment can be your naan. You can even make your homemade fresh chapati because the kneading helps you to do all these wonderful flavor breads at home. Okay. So much about baking, right? Thanks to Ayu, she has shared something that is so useful to us. We all love bread and now we can make it fresh at home. All right, I'm going to move on to something which is like a one-pot meal. Also like an emergency kind of meal that you can do at home when you're in a rush or in a hurry. And it's also a complete meal because we have all the basically nutritious ingredients packed all in one cooking. Okay, so I'm going to do the tomato egg noodle soup. All right, tomato egg noodle soup. Okay, so what I have here is some garlic, which I've already peeled. You can also peel it in the Thermomix, but because to save time, I've already peeled it. And I'm going to first place the garlic in, right? So here's about 20 grams of garlic. Okay. And the next thing is I'm going to chop them up first. So how do we chop them up? Remember, Sunita also showed you. So it's just a quick 5 seconds. We must add like very fast. And then I go to speed 6 because I want it not too fast. Okay, so 5 seconds done, right? So imagine doing this on the chopping board. It definitely would take longer than that, right? And the thing is that I don't like to do it on the chopping board because you get your hands all smelly. You got to gather it and then chop it, and it might be all over the place as well. And at the end, you got to also be washing your knife, your chopping board, and wash your hands. Like can't even get the smell of your hands. So this is how it looks like at speed 6. If you like it finer, you can always go on a higher speed. So it's very flexible with the Thermomix. As long as you know the functions, you can already improvise, with different recipes. All right. So for example, if you want to make your sambal paste or your curry paste, when you have your stir-fry, your chili, your wakaras, everything in, instead of pounding and blending over and over, all you need to do is put in Thermomix, put it into paste form, go to speed 10, right? Speed 10 and it goes into paste form. The next moment is to add in the oil. So I'm going to add in about 20 grams of oil here. I'm using my rice bran oil. So any good quality oil at home, you can safely use it in the Thermomix, right? I'm going to put in about 20 grams. Okay. So weigh in straight away. Okay. And I'm going to cover it. I'm going to saute. How do we saute? Stir fry. It is just a quick 3 minutes to bring out the fragrance of the garlic. 120 degrees for tumis, yeah. And then, Malaysia, we like to use the word tumis, and then speed 1. Okay, so as it is sauteing now, I would also like to share that you can also look forward to sauteing your sambal in the future, your curry paste in the future. So can you imagine now you really save up a lot of cleaning time? We can actually blend all the ingredients in one bowl, in the TM bowl, continuing straight away with the tumis by just adding oil and then just let it tumis. But today I'm doing garlic, so it's a quick 3 minutes. But let's say if you're doing sambal, have you imagined, could you remember the days that you did sambal on the wok? When was the last time you did that? When was the last time you cooked a curry paste? For me, right, before the Thermomix, right, I tried to do that on the wok. But after 1 or 2 times, I was kind of put off with the long cooking process and the mess that it has created after cooking on the wok. Because, when you cook curry paste and all, you have a lot of spices and everything in. And with the oil, the first thing you experience is it starts to splatter, right? The next moment, but you cannot leave the wok. You still got to be there. Continue to saute. If not, you will get burns on your paste. You get all the paste sticking on the wok. You just got to be there painstakingly. Continue your stirring. And at the end, you realize that you keep adding oil as well. So at the end, you actually do put in more oil. And you are literally stuck to the wok. To do sambal paste, sometimes it takes like 15-20 minutes, depending on the amount that you're doing, right? Or even longer if you're doing like 500 grams. So, but now you see with the Thermomix, even though it takes 15 minutes, you can leave it. It cooks for you, it stirs for you, it does the whole tumis process for you, and you can relieve yourself to work on other things. Yeah, it can be stuff in the kitchen and you can prepare for your next recipe, or it can be even as things like, attending to your children at home with their homework, or your gardening, if you're gardening, right? And the best part is you never need to buy curry paste anymore. Because, paste outside, you simply can't tell what is in the paste. First of all, it's expensive. Second thing, it lasts for a long, long time. And you'll be wondering what is actually inside, right? But we can't help it. You've got to do the whole process at home. It takes a long time, right? So a lot of people end up buying paste. But, then we think about the MSG that's added, the type of oil that is being added inside, and preservatives, right? Nothing beats homemade paste. The fragrance is different, right? Back to all the things that you pick yourself, you go back to the precious ingredients. It's really entirely different. And now you can tell yourself, yes, I can do it. I can do it. So my paste is done, like my garlic is done. I could smell the fragrance of my garlic here. And I'm just standing right beside here checking. And you can see that it's seasoned inside. Okay, so this is how it's going to be like when you make your own paste. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to add in is my tomatoes. All right, so I'm going to add in tomato. I have here prepared 2 types of tomato, the big ones, and also the Roma tomatoes, or what we call cherry tomatoes, cut into half. So I have about 350 grams of the big ripe tomatoes and 150 grams of Roma tomatoes. I'm just gonna put everything inside. I'm gonna add also some napa cabbage, right? This is optional, but because my kids, I want to give them more vegetables in the soup. So I'm adding some napa cabbage. Okay. And then I'm gonna saute it for 3 minutes. So let's just do a quick 3 minutes. sauteing at 120. And because now we have the tomato inside, we don't want to mash them up. We still want them to, we will still want to see them in pieces, right? So what do? We have an option called the reverse mode, okay? And then I'm going on spoon. Let me explain a little bit about the reverse. The Thermomix plate basically has two sides, okay? So inside, if you could look inside to the plate, there's four parts, four sides of the blade. Every side has the blunt side and the sharp side. So usually when it spins, it goes on the sharp side. So it goes clockwise. Right now, because I do not want to chop up my vegetables, I would use the reverse. And so I would turn on the reverse function where the blade goes on the opposite direction. So instead of cutting and chopping, it is now stirring for me. Okay, so now you can understand now in future, when you want to make your sauteed meat, your stir-fry beef, your stir-fry vegetables, your tofu, now hey, Thermomix can do that. And no wonder it doesn't chop up everything because the Thermomix has this reverse function. Whatever you don't want to cut, just go on the reverse function. Okay, so I'm using here, I'm engaging 120 degrees because this is what we call low temp cooking. So Sunita has introduced just now as well, low temp and high temp cooking. I am now using the low temperature cooking. Low temperature cooking is great because it brings out the aroma. At the same time, it preserves the nutrients. It doesn't burn the nutrients. So regardless of what kind of oil you use, you have no fear that your oil will turn carcinogenic. Or if you pick the freshest vegetable and you go all out and invest in organic vegetable, it's even more important, right? Because why do we invest in organic vegetable? Because we want the nutrients, right? So to keep that in your cooking process, we can go on the low temperature cooking in the Thermomix to help you do that, right? Because if we do invest in like high quality ingredients, organic ingredients, but we cook it the wrong way, cook it at high temp, we're actually burning everything. And we are not even like really enjoying the basis of investing in this extras, right? So this is what Thermomix can do for you. Go on low temp cooking. So what else can you do for low temp cooking? You can also do your sauteing of noodles. You can do your curries, all based on low temperature cooking. Basic sauteing of meat, doing your chicken, everything can be based on low temp cooking. All right, so this gives you an idea. You can also look up a recipe of a cookie dough, which helps you to do that. Or optionally, you can also convert your own recipe and just use the Thermomix to help you to do all the hard and tedious work for you. All right, so now it is already almost done. Okay, so now it's done. Right, so I'm going to open up and I'm going to add on my stock. Okay, I have here 600 grams of stock. You can add water too, but I'm adding my homemade chicken stock. So about 600 grams. Okay. And now I'm going to add on some soya sauce and pepper and some salt. Okay. Put it inside. Cover it. And I'm going to bring it to boil before I add on my noodles. Okay. So let's bring it to boil for 8 minutes. Okay, 100 degrees, because you just want to bring the soup to boil, so it's 100 degrees. Remember to turn on the reverse because we don't want to chop on any of the food inside. Okay, so as it's sauteing, right, I'd like to explain further on the other functions that's available in the Thermomix. So we have covered and introduced the low temperature cooking and high temperature cooking. High temperature as well, you can also explore caramelizing. You can also explore like the nut brittle. You can also explore like the browning of meat and all. Okay, so this is the high temperature option. All right, and the other thing that we would like to share also, apart from now, let's say I'm doing my soup, I can also top up my varoma. I can add my varoma on top. And if I want to add additional dishes to what I'm cooking now, I can also steam my chicken here. And I also can steam, additional food on top, like for example, broccoli, carrots, vegetables, or even eggs on top. Okay, so then this will give me the time that I can save, that I can do 3 recipes at one go. So I can cook my noodle and soup here at the same time. I can steam additional dishes on top. Okay, so for this 8 minutes, I can free myself to do other things at home while I have 3 dishes that is being done for me. All right, so this is something that we would like to share with you. 3 layers and 4 layers cooking. Okay. On top of what you see just now, so many exciting recipes, right? So many exciting functions. We also have something called the kettle mode. So what is the kettle mode? When a lot of people hear kettle mode, what would you think about? Boiling water, right? But I like to let you know and share with you that Thermomix kettle mode is what we call a smart kettle. Smart kettle that you can cook your water to any temperature that you like. Why do we need that? Sometimes when you brew coffee and then you read up, oh, if you want to brew coffee, the best temperature is 90 degrees. Never exceed that, or else, your coffee flavor will overcooked and you won't get the nice aroma out of the coffee. So what do you do? How do you determine that your water is at 90 degrees before you brew your coffee beans? You can now use the Thermomix kettle mode. Just pour water in, set it to 90, which is your desired temperature. And when it reaches that temperature, it calls you. And for some of you, maybe you have children at home and babies at home. You want to make baby milk, for example. You can also warm up the water to 37 degrees. Immediately, you can make baby milk and, you can serve it to your baby straight away without worrying about, that it might be too hot, it might burn their tongue, it might burn their lips. Right? You don't even need to taste it. It is really at the precise 37 degrees temperature. And for tea, if you like to explore tea, green tea, the best temperature is 75. So how do you know without measuring? You can use the Thermomix to do that, right? There's also included in the Thermomix, your Thermomix, a slow cook mode. So slow cook enables you to do long hours of stewing and brewing, for example. So things that you want to make it really tender and really soft, and having to watch fire on the stove and constantly got to go back and check and stir. Now you can depend on the Thermomix to do the slow cook for you. And you can make beef stew, duck. Duck really needs long hours of cooking. Or you can also explore our local desserts, like your bubur, your red bean soup and things like that, without having to watch the fire, without having to worry about overflowing, without having to stir. Okay, so you can do slow cook for up to 8 hours. Okay? And there's something that a lot of families with children love is our fermentation mode, where a lot of people use this particular function to make homemade yogurts. Because yogurts is quite expensive outside, right? And if you buy imported one, it's like 20 ringgit per cup. It's really, really expensive. Plus, on top of that, there's definitely some additives and preservatives that's added. So in order to avoid all those, you can actually do it at home. You just need a starter, 120 grams of yogurt and 1 liter of milk, and then you will generate 1 liter of yogurt. Subsequently, if you want to make additional homemade fresh yogurt, just top up on 1 liter of milk, save 120 grams of the yogurt that you make for your next batch. So it is as simple as that, and it is fresh, and it is, preservatives free for your whole family. So you can go, because yogurt is very good for digestion, right? So it's something that is really helpful to do. It saves a lot of money too in the long run. All right. What I personally love is what we call the sous vide function. Have you heard of the sous vide function? This is like the secret behind a lot of French restaurants and steakhouses, right? You often kind of curious, right? How did they maintain that medium rare? They come in, when the waiter come and get your order, take your orders, asking, so how would you like your meat to be? How would you like your salmon to be? Would you like it to be well done, medium rare? So how do they determine all that? It is using the sous vide function. So in the restaurants, they actually have sous vide machines in the back of the restaurants. Now with the Thermomix, it is already built into the TM6. And now you can enjoy this way of cooking and enjoy wonderful steaks at home, right? Using the Thermomix sous vide easily, right? You can have quality steaks at home now, right? Saving you lots and lots of money as well. And you can also explore different degrees of eggs, like the famous 69-degree eggs. Now you can also create that at home, all right? So it is just another minute more, and I have here the noodles that is already prepared, and then some eggs. So for the noodles, I'm actually putting in less first because it's not my lunch yet. So I'm making soup. I'm just using this as an example to show you. So I'm using the wheat noodle, the Chinese wheat noodle. You can also opt for different types of noodle like pasta noodles as well. All right, let me show you what I'm using. All right, I will show you the package I'm using. So all you need to do is to take the bunch out. It's recommended, the recipe recommended 200 grams for 4 servings. I'm only doing 1.5 serving here. So you need to soak it to soften it, and then later on we will add it into the soup. All right. So let me take the pig inside. It's almost done. It's just another few seconds more, right? So it should be ready now. So you see the Thermomix has another important function that is built in. It is a safety function. When your food starts to boil, it will ensure that it cools down, that it's safe for you to open to avoid splattering. So it is so safe that even children now can cook with the Thermomix. Okay? So now I'll show you the inside. So the soups and the vegetables all cooked inside. Can you see? Now I'm going to add the noodle. Break them up because we don't want it to be hot. And here, for this noodle, I just need a quick 3 minutes. I'm going to spin it to 3 minutes. Temperature, I just need to maintain it at 100. Remember the reverse, yeah, because I'm noodling, super important to keep the reverse on. And then spoon. All right, as it's cooking the noodle, let me share with you how to, how do you earn your Thermomix? So today, when you saw what we made, what have we made this morning? We made calamansi juice. It is as quick, as speedy as 6 seconds. Unimaginable. How do you create the juice in 6 seconds? If you go out and tell your friends, today I saw a cooking demo and I saw the calamansi juice that is being done in just 6 seconds. Would your friends believe you? I don't think so. If they have not seen the Thermomix, they will probably think that, what kind of information are you sharing? Is it real? Right? But it's true because you are here witnessing the cooking show with us. You now could see that, yeah, Thermomix juice can be done in just 6 seconds. Yeah. All right. So it's super quick and easy. And everyone can cook. Now, after seeing what Ayu has done, now you can tell yourself, yes, I can make bread. Today can be pizza. Tomorrow can be my brioche. Another day can be my French loaf, baguette. Another day can be my soft buns, You can now explore a lot of different kinds of breads at home without having to pay thousands of dollars to attend, baking classes, right? On top of that, cakes now can also be a wonderful thing that you can make for your family. Birthday cakes, cookies, and everything now. Everyone really can cook, okay? Healthy eating, like what I shared, 120 degrees. maintaining at low temperature, preserving the nutrients of the food, very important, and most importantly, preserving your oil, okay, the nutrients of the oil. Auto cooking, auto washing is great, isn't it? As I'm chatting with you, it is being cooked for me. As Sunita was chatting with you, your food was being cooked for her. Right? As Ayu was chatting with you, the kneading was being done for her without any mess. So this is what you will really enjoy once you get your hands on the Thermomix. Space saving, this is all you need. This little space is all you need to create thousands of recipes at home. And goodbye to cooking fumes. You could see that Sunita was cooking on the dining table. Ayu was cooking in a dry kitchen, and I'm also cooking my dry kitchen, fearless about fumes, and not needing to mop and wipe the kitchen after cooking. And most importantly, of course, I stay clean as well. Okay. So how do you bring a Thermomix home? The three options, like what I shared, two options like what I shared earlier, 6988. This is the current price, and there's also financing up to 24 months, which works out to 291 a month. Only 9 ringgit a day. 9 ringgit a day, where you can create 5 different meals. 7 days a week, healthy meals for your family. 365 days of nutritious and happy cooking for your family. How wonderful is that? All right. So, and then now it has called me that it is done. So the next thing is, let's not forget. It's quite heavy. I need to put in the eggs. So I'm going to set it to just 1 minute. Let me show you a trick on how to do those egg drop soup. Okay, so just do a quick 1 minute. Right. Temperature maintaining at 100. Reverse. Okay, so how do people make egg drop soup? Okay, now the MC cup is created this way. There is gaps in between. All you need to do is to pour the egg along the lid and allow the eggs to slide in gradually. And this will help you to create nice strand of eggs in your soup. That's it. Okay, and just leave it. Okay, so let's let it cook and come back to this very important information. So how do you own your Thermomix? You have up to 24 months. Whether you're going for full payment or financing, right? You can now enjoy this specially designed Mother's Day gifts. It's what we call the purchase and hosting gift. This is the thermo server 2.2 liter. It is designed with insulated design. Okay, let's keep the egg inside. So after you put in your egg drop, you want to keep it in for a while before opening, because you want to keep the heat in so the eggs will be cooked nicely, right? So this thermo server is really useful when you get the Thermomix, because you start cooking with one. So for example, I cook my noodle, and then I want to also do a sauteing of meat and vegetable. Where am I going to put my noodle? I can actually pour it in here. And this thermo server will help to keep my food warm for a few hours while I work on my other dishes, right? The thermo server can also be used to keep whole food. For example, yogurt, salads are great, or you can make ice cream and you can use this as an ice cream container, and you can also put this in your freezer. So it comes with a serving tray and also a lid to cover. Okay, so how do you get this gift? Once you have placed your order for your Thermomix, this will be kept for you. And it's called purchase and hosting because we need your help to share the news about the One Thermomix cooking with your friends and families. Just have 3 to 6 friends come in and watch our early morning, Saturday morning cooking show, and you're able to claim your Thermomix. Or maybe if your friends are really interested about Thermomix, they want a home cooking session, we can also arrange a one-to-one session with their families as well. Okay, so do remember now, get your hands on the Thermomix and get your hands on the thermo server. It is for 360 ringgit and it is available while stocks last. All right. Okay. So the complete package when you purchase the Thermomix comes with a complete set. the simmering basket that Ayu used, the splash guard that Sunita used for high temp, the spatula, for scraping food, for stirring, MC cup, the aroma, right, and the complete unit here. Plus, there's another accessory which we didn't use today, which is the butterfly, right? So what is the butterfly for? It is great for whipping. When you're exploring baking, you probably might want to, learn how to whip your icing, whip your egg white, your meringue. This is the accessory to help you do that. Okay. So it will also come with a basic cookbook, which has about 170 recipes. And we have two options for you. You can go for the English version or the Chinese version. So do let your advisor know when you place your order whether you prefer the English cookbook or Chinese cookbook, because the entire set of Thermomix is shipped in from Europe, from Germany. Okay, so it is a set that is already pre-packed. So you need to let us know which is your preference, that your advisor is able to help you pick the right set and deliver to your home. Okay, so let your advisor know where you prefer the delivery to be done. It can be to your office or it can be to your home. And also after that, arrange for a personal cooking session with your advisor, right? To get you head start in using your Thermomix and maybe a head start in exploring your first recipe. It could be your first cake, it could be your first sambal, it could be your first curry. Just let your advisor know what would you like to do, what would you like to cook. They can give you some examples and they will also send you the recipe, get the ingredients prepared, and you are on your way to explore your Thermomix cooking journey. All right? All right, I will first hand over to Sunita to share a little bit more about the additional advantage and benefits that we have for everyone who is with us here. She's going to share with you about the partner program while I'm going to plate my dish, all right, in a moment. All right, so I will hand off to Sunita.
Hi, everyone. So just to share a little bit about you, about the partner program that we have. Okay, so when I first saw the Thermomix, I absolutely fell in love with it. So I bought mine. And then Ping Ping told me about the partner program. And it's really amazing because you join, and if you manage to introduce 6 friends to buy the Thermomix, you can actually earn a second unit completely free, right? So it's amazing to have one, but if you have 2, why not? Okay. So ask your advisors who invited you to our Zoom today to tell you a little bit more about how our partner program works. Okay, right now, the investment to join our partner program is only 268 ringgit, but for that 268 ringgit, you actually get that beautiful apron that Ayu was wearing. You also get the Thermomat that she used, which is already worth 190 ringgit for rolling out your dough, etc., and which you can also use straight into your oven. Okay, so the 268 investment for a 6,988 ringgit machine is really worth it. Okay, so do ask your advisors who invited you more about becoming a Thermomix partner. All right. So whom can you recommend the Thermomix to? You can recommend it to chefs that you know. If any of you have watched programs like MasterChef, you would see that the Thermomix is widely used on MasterChef. You can recommend it to friends, to busy professionals who are always eating out. As you know, it's not very healthy to always be eating out, so it's better when it's home-cooked food, right? And people who are health conscious, obviously eating at home is the healthier option because you know exactly what you're putting into your food. Friends who can't cook, as you saw, we have 68,000 recipes available on Cookie Dough. So even friends who tell you, no, I don't need a Thermomix because I can't cook, tell them they must get one, because with Cookie Dough, everyone can cook, right? friends with medical or dietary needs, especially those with hypertension or high blood sugar, diabetes, etc. You can control what you put in your food. You can control the amount of salt. You can control the amount of sugar. So you can really do healthy cooking. Cooking enthusiasts. I love to cook. And I absolutely love my Thermomix because it just gives me so many options to try so many different dishes. Families with children, as Ayu mentioned, even her children can cook with the Thermomix, all right? So you can recommend the Thermomix to everyone that you know, okay? So I'm gonna I'm just gonna show you the dish that I have made, which is the cabbage. So as you can see, it's really, really nice and fresh. We didn't add any water. It was just rinsed. Whatever you see at the bottom, the sauce is actually just from the water that the cabbage was rinsed in. So it's really, really, I've made this cabbage a few times, so I know it's really delicious. Okay, I'm going to hand you over to Ayu to show her pizza, her beautiful pizza that's probably come out of the oven now. And if it hasn't already been eaten by everybody in her house, the last time that Teh Tarik went before the end of our show.
This time I made sure no one was at home. So as you can see, my calamansi. Thank you, Sunita. Your cabbage looks delicious. Maybe you should send some over here. One thing I must say, my house smells wonderful. Okay, it smells with the rosemary. So I have here, this is how it looks like. It is so, the moisture of it, the texture of it, the flavor of it, it was just perfect. And to know that it was made in less than at least half an hour, including the proofing time and everything, is just so wonderful. And it has encouraged me to actually want to experiment more. And the kids will of course love it because they get to, you know, they get to choose whatever toppings that they want. So I've got, you remember my calamansi, and I have my pizza bianca here. All is ready for lunch, and it took me less than 1 hour to do it. I'm gonna have a bite if you all don't mind. If you don't mind, can I just have a bite? Just because it just came out from the oven, and you know how it is like when it's out from the oven. It is so nice and warm. So, it is so good. I'm sorry to those watching. It's so good. It's just so nice. The flavor and everything is just there.
You're really getting me hungry now.
Cheers. It's so refreshing. I'm sorry for those of you who are watching and you know and are drooling away, but I just had to dig in because it came out fresh from the oven. So the taste, it's so nice and warm, and the flavor, and like I mentioned, it does not take you long because I know some of the pizza recipes, you know, you need to double proof it and all that. It is so nice, fluffy. Of course, they're different. I know some people like the thin crust and things like that. This is more on the fluffy. I don't know which one I ate, but anyway, yeah. It's so nice. It's so good. Mamma mia! It's delicioso. All right, Ingrid.
All right, back to me. Okay, so here's my heartwarming noodle. You can see here. Okay, and you can see the eggs on top and the noodles and cut in nice strand. And you know, because it's one pot, so you actually have all the flavors inside. The tomato, the tanginess of tomato, and then the sweetness from it as well, plus the vegetable. You know, it's really, really nice. I was trying a little bit of the soup just now. It was so good. My kids will love this for lunch. It's really delicious. And it's a quick lunch that you can create at home. And I understand that Ramadan is coming, something that you can also do early in the morning, a complete wholesome meal for your family. So I would strongly urge you and encourage you to get your hands on the Thermomix. I forgot to share with you that if you're going for full payment, you will get the thermal server and an additional cook of your choice, okay? So do get your hands on your Thermomix, start to cook and get used to it. And when it comes to your family cooking and everything, you know, you already have some hands-on experience. You can then explore tens and thousands of recipes easily at home, and you can really be the chef of the house. Not just for yourself though, for your family as well. Children can cook, husbands can also cook now. All right. So I hope you enjoyed today's show. We will be coming up with more ideas and more recipes to share. Get your hands on the Thermomix, start to use it, and come on to our show to get more ideas for your lunch, your breakfast, lunch, and dinner ideas for your family. All right. Till next week, we hope to see you again. Bring more friends together. And I'd like to thank Sunita and Ayu as well for their wonderful sharing. Did they do a good job? I'm sure they did, right? Let's give
Thank you,
them a
everyone.
round of applause. Right.
Thank you,
Okay,
everyone.
and-
Have a good weekend.
Yes, have a
Enjoy
good
the
weekend.
weekend.
Let's keep in touch. Okay, bye-bye for now. See you all next week.
Hope you're inspired to try one of our dishes. Enjoy. Bon appetit.